Salute to you, family. This Polo back up in here again. Smash that like, hit that subscribe, man. And we live getting a reaction in terms of the New York Knicks and Hawks game. As the Hawks come through and defeat the New York Knicks, not by much, not by much, but nevertheless they still was able to get them by the score of 105 to 107. Uh, and Trey Young, in his playoff debut, was able to come down and tell everybody in the Garden, you know, hey, I'm here. I'm here to I'm here to stay in these playoffs. He had 32 points, 10 assists, and 3 points, three rebounds shy from a triple double in his playoff debut. Uh, and the Knicks, on the other hand, while they had a much more balanced scoring attack, Julius Randle had 15 points and 12 rebounds. Uh, RJ Barrett, who had a monstrous throwdown dunk at the midpoint of the game, had 14 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist. Uh, Derrick Rose also had a pretty solid game at 17 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and Alec Burks, who nobody really talks about, had 27 points and 4 assists. He led all scorers, and then Emmanuel Quickly, who uh, I felt Emmanuel Quickly should have got more minutes tonight. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau, if that was a strategic move by him, but nevertheless, in 21 minutes he had 10 points. Uh, I don't feel that this game right here is going to be the determining factor of what the series is going to be like, because this is a fill out game, and we are talking about Coach Tibbs. Uh, Coach Tibbs is a guy that is proven. He may not have won a championship, but he has he has been proven to go far in the playoffs. Okay, and he's turned the organization around. This isn't nothing to be sad about in terms of the Knicks. This is absolutely nothing to be sad about. The Knicks have nothing to be sad about. Um, More importantly, this is really just a learning game. You got to think about it. The Knicks had not been in the playoffs, I think, in over a decade, if I'm not mistaken. They have not been to the playoffs in quite some time. So if you think about it, they haven't been in the playoffs in quite some time. This is their first time in a long time actually being a legit contender, and on top of that, having home court advantage. So while they have a lot of things to celebrate, they also have a lot of challenges, I would say, that are posed in front of them, that are challenges that they haven't been on a big stage in a while. Now you always gonna be in a big stage when you're playing in Madison Square Garden, regardless. I mean, you're always playing in front of Spike Lee. You always got the stars there. Uh, you're in the bright lights. It's gonna be loud, gonna be noisy. They're gonna get on you if you mess up. It's a lot of pressure playing in MSG. Let's make no mistake about it. We're not talking about uh, you know I'm trying to think like OKC or any of these other places. We talking about New York. When you're talking about New York, and when you're talking about LA, and when you're talking about Detroit, even, when you talk about Miami, you talking about, big cities like that, you got to bring it every single night. You got to bring it every every single night. And I see you up in here, Big Who in the building. Y'all go subscribe to his channel at Hooligans, Big Hooligans. Definitely subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna let you in here, Big Who, if you want to come in. If you want to sit in the comments, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter. Made no mistake about it. But we just talking about these Knicks. Another thing is that I did really like from the Knicks, I can say, is that collectively as a group, they shot well from 3 pointers. Okay, now Atlanta, they outshot them only by 2 points. They were at 35%. Knicks were at 33%. Uh, the Knicks out rebounded the Hawks. They out rebounded the Hawks. They had better ball movement. They beat them on the assists. Uh, because they had 49 total rebounds in comparison to the Hawks 42, and they had 21 assists in comparison to the Hawks 17. Which, I mean, that's no surprising because they had a lot of people in double figures tonight. Points in the paint, believe it or not, they were tied. They were both at 50. But what really I think got to the Knicks is that they had to earn it at the line in the end, and they had them on the edge in personal fouls. But the Hawks did a pretty good job defensively because they had 6 steals in comparison to the Hawks. I mean, New York Knicks 3, and they forced the Knicks to have 11 turnovers, while the Hawks only had 6. You know, so I think that collectively New York they got a lot. They got a lot to look forward to. Now, Ja is making his debut. Ja Morant is making his debut, ladies and gentlemen. And look, Ja Morant, he's here. He's here to stay. He's here to stay. These young cats, these young killers are coming in to take over the league. You know, LeBron walking off the floor tonight, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. It, I know he's frustrated. Uh, we got to talk about Phoenix and LA too. Big Who was on here with me earlier, and the thing about that series right there, everybody's like, "Oh, we'll be all right. We'll be all right." I'm not looking at it that way. I'm not looking at it that way at all. And if you're not looking, if you looking at it that way, something is wrong with you. Now, listen, fill out games are fill out games, but they have already played. I don't give a damn if it was a regular season. I don't even in this case. I'm not saying wake me up when the playoffs. I told Hitman X that. I told him wake me up when the playoffs start. Shit, I'm not thinking that way no more. I'm definitely not thinking that way no more. You'd be silly to think that you you could just go to sleep on a team like Phoenix. You'd be silly to think that you could go to sleep on a team like either Atlanta or New York Knicks. Shoot, even with my team, Philly, going to sleep on the Wizards. But back to what I was saying about Ja, um, he's definitely trying to make his presence felt. Uh, Utah, last time, because right now uh, the Grizzlies are up by 1. Okay, uh, with 2:43 left to go in the first quarter. Last time Ja had got kind of exposed last game, but one thing that I noticed about Ja Morant is the fact that he's willing to work on his weaknesses. One of the things that I notice about Ja Morant too is he's willing to evolve as a player. He's willing to work on those weaknesses. His own he got a couple of spots to his game that can be polished up. It's not like this guy is a horrible player, nothing like that. That where he gotta do major overhaul or anything like that. Absolutely not. That's not what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's about him being under control. That's what it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just like with Russell Westbrook. Like that was pretty much my only knock on Russell Westbrook is can he play under control? Other than that, he does everything else. I think uh, correctly, except he ain't no lights out shooter from deep or nothing like that. But he he's a scorer and he could get to the bucket. John Morant, he's a scorer. He could get to the bucket. He's a slasher. And he's hella athletic. Just needs to know how to, you know when, control the pace, uh, change the pace, and change of he got to change the direction down. But other than that, Ja's gonna be fine. I think this was a big confidence booster too for Memphis. You know, as uh, as Memphis loses the lead right now, and Utah is up 20 to 17. And with Utah, I said it like this: everybody was talking about uh, Donovan Mitchell in the MVP conversation. Nobody's talking about Rudy Gobert. Nobody's talking about Rudy Gobert. When he signed that contract, when he pretty much lives up to that contract. He's lived up to that contract, and he has exceeded expectations. He pretty much changes that whole entire team if you take him away, if you take him off of that squad. Yeah, sure. You do got, your 6 to 7 players that average in double figures. You got your obvious starters like, Michael Conley Jr., Bogdanovich. You got, Joe Ingles. You got your Jordan Clarkson. You got the other guys on there that can get you buckets, but that team is not going any far if you don't have Rudy Gobert. He is a valuable rim protector, and I said it. Listen, I was real critical of Rudy Gobert. I was real critical of him. I I told somebody, I said I don't believe that he deserved that contract, but he proved me wrong. He proved me wrong. I was like, why are they giving this guy a contract? He does not deserve it. But he proved me wrong. And he's an MVP candidate. He's an MVP candidate. I don't care what nobody has to say. If y'all feel like, Rudy Gobert is an MVP candidate, shoot, let me know. Or isn't. Let me know. I really want to know that. But, besides that, man, we got a lot to look forward to. Now, I'm interested to see what's going to take place with the Clippers, how they going to adjust. Um, and this is another thing. This is another thing that I got to talk about. I got to talk about LA for a second, okay? Now, I was just on Ticket TV's stream not too long ago where shout out to Ticket TV too. If you haven't sub to his channel, I highly recommend that you sub to him. Brings a lot of daily content and reps hard for the LDBC. Now look, you know, Lakers Lakers are in serious trouble. Okay, whether we want to sit here and act like you know AD needs to step up or AD is soft or AD is this and AD is that. Look, I know AD has been going at the people. I know, and shout out to Ticket Two for uh, putting me on to this. Put me on to the news that AD was going off on different fans on social media. Look, AD is not healthy. He's not 100%. It's clear in his game. You could clearly see in his game. A lot of people don't know that earlier in the season, AD had to sit out twice with the situation with his foot. Even the scare about him, the Achilles thing. He's not 100%. So us thinking that you know AD is just not a monster and he's soft and all this other stuff. It's because he's not fully healthy. AD does not play like that when he's fully healthy. You'd be a fool to think that he does. When AD is fully healthy, he's shooting over 50% from the field. Okay, when he shoot when he shoot when he's 100% healthy, he's not shooting no 3 for 15. He's not shooting no 4 for 15 stuff like and things like that. Being a minus 15 on the floor, are you kidding me? That's not AD's game. That's not AD's game. That's not AD. He don't be putting up no 13 points in 39 minutes. Are you serious? That's not AD's game. Clearly, that's not AD's game. So we gotta stop all this cap. Like AD is 100%, and he's just not playing well. He only had 7 rebounds tonight. You know, and it was a combination. We gotta take it into account. DeAndre Ayton was just eating him alive on the boards. It's because DeAndre Ayton is healthy. DeAndre Ayton is 100%. DeAndre Ayton is young. He got that youth factor, not the AD's over the hill or anything like that, but he's been plagued with injuries. He's been plagued with injuries. He's been plagued with injuries, and and he's fragile. I will give people that. Now I'm not gonna say he's soft like every time you touch him he falls or something like that. He ain't soft as cotton nail, nothing like that. Come on, man. AD is still a solid guy, and I like AD because he reminds me so much of KG and in the way of his skill. Maybe not with his mentality so much because KG was one of them types of players where he played through through injuries or play when he was hurt, you know. But we're talking about a whole different breed. Um, I don't believe I don't believe that AD is gonna be fully recovered uh, this year. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't believe that he's gonna recover. And the Jazz are up by 10 right now in the second quarter, and they just hit the free throw, and they're up 28 to 17 on the Memphis Grizzlies right now. Uh, Mike Conley Jr. Has 12 points, four to go along with 4 assists and 2 rebounds. Rudy Gobert already has nine rebounds to go along with just 5 points. Uh, Not very much scoring from the Memphis Grizzlies. Uh, John Morant only got 4 points, and Valanciunas only has 4 points. Uh, that's another guy that nobody's really talking about either. Valanciunas, he's gonna be something. He's got that European game to a T. He's got that European game to a T. Now, another thing that we got to talk about too is we got to talk about the Mavs and we got to talk about the Clippers. Uh, the Mavericks are for real. Okay, they look like an entirely different team. Make no mistake about it. The Mavericks started off slow, especially Luka. Luka did not play well at the beginning of the season. Luka was still off the hangover from the previous year, and it was the fact that they had ranked him in the ESPN ratings, and he was ranked above a lot of people in the rankings. I'm sorry, and that didn't sit well with a lot of people. But I told people, I said that he deserved it. People thought I was crazy. People thought I was on cap. People thought that I was tripping. People thought that there was something wrong with me. People thought that, you know, they were still talking about the fact that, this guy wasn't a legit guy. He was a crybaby, all this other stuff. Yada, 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 yada. That wasn't true. Yet and still, it was 31, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. Triple double again for Luka. Luka is going to run the league too. I said it time and time again. He is going to run the league before Zion Williamson is. You could get mad at me if you want to. Now, listen, let's not ignore the fact that Josh Richardson, guys like Finney Smith, and guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't doing their thing. Yeah, Josh Richardson, he only had 8 points, but he was doing little stuff on the floor that don't really, you're not gonna really get that much credit for it, such as, especially as far as him being a defender, playing the passing lane, forcing errors. He only played 17 minutes too. We can't forget about Jalen Brunson. In 21 minutes, he had 15 points, a solid game. Let's get a little bit higher. Dorian Finney-Smith, I said it again, 18 points. You know, we can't forget, Cleaver, you know what I'm saying? Despite him having that vicious dunk on him by Kawhi Leonard, he still did a solid job. And of course, Kristaps Porzingis did his thing too. You know, look, it was a collective effort, and Luka needs that around him in order for them to sniff a championship. Because if Luka's gonna be doing everything, he's gonna be gassed up. He played 41 minutes. He played 41 minutes. It's not like this guy is only playing like 20, 20 some odd minutes or nothing like that. This dude is playing a full stretch of games and giving you work. The only thing that Luka needs to do is he just needs to, control himself and don't worry about the refs. Stop fighting so much. Stop crying so much. Nobody want to hear that. Just go ahead, pipe down, shut up, do what you need to do. Hit that like and hit the subscribe as you come. Hit the subscribe as you come on in. Don't nobody want to hear that. He doing everything right though. Luka doing everything right. Now on the Clippers end, look, Kawhi Leonard had a monster game. Uh, Paul George had a relatively monster game. Okay, as the Utah Jazz are up on the Grizzlies, 34-21 right now with 7 minutes, 6 minutes and 46 seconds left to go in the second quarter. The Clippers, they didn't play. They didn't play as bad. The score doesn't tell the story. Not unless you really looked at it, because I thought Rondo. It might not look like it from a statistical standpoint because he had 11 points. I thought Rondo played a decent game, and like I was telling Big Who earlier, I told him making that change, Rondo in the starting lineup, it would be risky, but I think that they should do it. I think that they should do it. I really think that they should do it. Look, I like Patrick Beverly. I like what he brings to the table. But Patrick Beverly, as much as a dog, dead homie, as much as he's a dog, he loses he loses sight of the fact of what to do sometimes. In terms of his composure. Rondo is composed. Rondo knows how to control the game. He knows how to control the tempo. He knows when to run and when to slow down and everything. He knows how to direct. He's gonna get people in the right spot. He knows how to set the table. I think another big thing that Lou, that Ty Lue, I think should consider is playing Zubac just a little bit more. He only had 19 minutes. Um, you know, they had a well balanced scoring. They had what five five guys that were in double figures. And another thing that I think told the story too was the fact that Rondo, how well he's improved his shooting. And that's what I talked about. I talked about that yesterday. Stop egging these people on to shoot. Rondo made a living in the league without a jumper, being a playmaker. We don't need to hear about, oh yeah, he needs a jumper, he gonna be better. Oh yeah, I wish he would shoot more. Oh yeah, I wish he was a lights out 3-pointer. Everybody can't be a Steph Curry. Okay, everybody not can't come down the floor and hoist up jumpers, like Luca. That's not everybody's game, whether you are big or small. That's not everybody's game, you know. But he's a veteran now. He's evolved his jumper over time, and people thought that it was it was a fluke that he was shooting the way he was in the bubble with 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 no type of crowd around and stuff like that. They were saying, "Oh yeah, those are practice shots. He could easily make those." He doing it in front of the crowd now because at one point he was shooting 100%. He was shooting 100%. He was shooting 100% until he missed one. He finally missed one. I think it was late in the third quarter. But I think that he do need to make that adjustment. And y'all hit that like and hit the subscribe if you in here. Look, I'm not going to sleep on the Clippers. Uh, Now, do I think that the triangle is eventually gonna work for them? I don't think it's gonna work as much in their favor as we thought it was. Because the thing about Dallas that I noticed, they are outrunning them. They are outrunning them. They're swarming in them. The Clippers, they try to run with them. I mean, I give Kawhi props because I didn't think he was gonna get up. That was like Spurs Kawhi right there. That was San Antonio Spurs Kawhi right there, getting up like that when he dunked on Cleveland. At first, I thought he was gonna do like a simple layup, maybe draw the foul. Man, he said, "Whoosh!" Just straight up, just bodied that man like in a one-on-one situation. I mean, that was like D Wade over Anderson Bergeau type stuff, making that dude fall. You know, but see, what we have to look at is that, listen, the Clippers only shot 44%. Okay, they've shot 44% from field goal. They shot 27% from 3-pointers. Okay, you couple that with the fact that Rondo did what he could, it still wasn't overall a very good shooting outing. They got out rebounded. I mean, and on top of that, they both committed about the same amount of fouls. While Dallas, they were red hot, shooting 50% from the field. They had 47% from 3-pointers. They out rebounded them on the boards, 42 rebounds. Now they lost the points in the paint, but it didn't really matter because that's not going to tell the whole story. They were lights out. There was absolutely nothing. They had no answer for Luca. They had no answer for Richardson. They had no answer for Finney Smith. They had no answer for Tim Hardaway Jr. But he's going to go back to the drawing board, and they definitely do need to make those adjustments. As the Utah Jazz are up 38 to 32 on the Memphis Grizzlies. with 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the second quarter. Dylan Brooks, who was playing. I think somebody had mentioned Dylan Brooks. I like Dylan Brooks. I like what he brings to the table. Doesn't get talked about enough, you know. And on this channel, I like to give guys their credit. I don't like just shooting up the guys, the obvious guys and stuff. I like to give guys, that really don't get recognized that much, that always get thrown under the bus, get swept up under the rug, things of that nature. You got to talk about some of those guys. You have to recognize some of those guys that are doing that dirty work. Um, I'll say it like this: a guy like Fournier, as I go ahead and I talk about the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. Look here, Brooklyn and Boston is an interesting series, and I'm gonna get. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to Miami and Milwaukee. I'm saving. To me, that was the best game. Milwaukee and Miami. To me, that was the most competitive game right there. That's just in my opinion. But we're gonna get to that in a second. I need to talk about Brooklyn and Boston. Okay, this is a series that I think that it. I hate to say it, it can be kind of tricky for the simple fact that Boston really didn't play. They didn't play a horrible game. Neither one of these teams played extremely good, and let me tell you why. Because they both shot horrible from the field. Boston only shot 36.9% from field goal. Okay, that's horrible. Brooklyn only shot 41.7%. That's horrible. Now from 3 pointers, Brooklyn only shot 23.5%. And we saw KD was off in the beginning. He was off. He didn't really play that good. Okay. This is a fill out game though, Now they shot okay they shot pretty good from free throw. They shot 89.7. Uh, but the thing that killed Boston, they got out rebounded. They got dominated in the paint pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Like with the points in the paint. The only thing that you could give the edge to with Boston is that they play good defensively because a guy like Robert Williams, this guy is an absolute beast. Robert Williams, Robert Williams, man, you need a guy like Robert Williams. You need a guy like Robert Williams. Now look, I'm gonna talk about Taco Fall right now. Let's just go ahead. I don't duck no smoke, but it needs to be talked about. You need to utilize a guy like Taco Fall. Look, I understand what people are saying. Uh, that Taco Fall can't move in the pick and roll. He's not agile in the pick and roll. Terrible footwork. He'll get exposed and stuff like that. Well, shoot, look at how Blake Griffin got exposed. Hit that like and hit that subscribe as you come in. Look at how he got exposed. He was a statue. That was so un Blake Griffin like. Not that Blake Griffin was the best defender, anyways. But man, listen. If he's been in the league way longer than a guy like Taco Fall. Taco Fall barely getting any run. See, my thing is this: you have to develop your players, and part of being part of developing is actually, putting your guy out there. You know, I said this, and I wasn't saying this to be funny. I was for real when I said this. I said, I told uh, one of the guys that was on the panel, I said, give us Taco Fall. Give us Taco Fall. Shoot, we would love to have him because Doc is going to develop him. You think Doc would have somebody like that just sitting on the bench rotting, uh, his skills diminishing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You talking about a guy that who when he was in college, you know, he was he was a legit player. He was a solid player. He was a solid player over there in Central Florida. Real solid. 75%, 75% field goal. Man was a monster in blocks. One year he had 94. He had 94 blocks. That's rim protection at its best. Average. He never averaged double figures in rebounds, but you know he could be an elite shot blocker. If listen, I would get with him. I would go with the staff. Uh, I would pull Taco out and continue to work on him. I believe that if they use him as a project and they work with him on pick and roll, man, he would be phenomenal. Taco Fall would be phenomenal, and it wouldn't have anything to do with him being dynamic on offense or anything like that. Dikembe Mutombo, he wasn't dynamic on offense, but guess what? He was a tremendous rebounder. He was a tremendous shot blocker. He was a tremendous rim protector. He clogged up the lane, and he wasn't. He was at times he was kind of uncoordinated. Dikembe Mutombo wasn't the fastest guy. You know what I'm saying? But this dude was going to get you blocks. Not in my house. That's all you need to do. A guy like Taco Fall can easily change the dynamic of that team. And a combination with Robert Williams, who went to Texas A&M, you need a guy like that. You need a guy like that. I'm telling you. Um, I don't believe that Jason Tatum is it's not going to sit well with him. They all had a collective effort. They put in a collective effort. Jason Tatum had 22. Evan Fournier had 10. Marcus Smart had 17. Kemba Walker had 15. And Robert Williams had 11. He had 11. So I really feel like Boston to they could give the Brooklyn Nets a run for their money. because on paper you'll say, "Oh, this team finna get blown out," but it's really not like that. It's really not like that. Because in the beginning of that, if you looked at that game, in the beginning of that game, you saw that Boston came out to fight. They were coming out, and they weren't gonna go down without a fight. You know, they were not gonna go down easy. Now, the other elephant in the room that we gotta address is Miami versus the Bucks. Okay. Um, this game, this game right here, to me, as I said before, was probably the best game that was played yesterday. Okay. And the thing, I was going to cover this game, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to cover this game because I had some things that I had to take care of. So I ended up doing the the Clippers and the Mavericks game instead. But I probably should have did this game. But it's a good thing that I didn't do this game because I would have been so focused on watching it that I wouldn't have been able to really commentate like I wanted to do the commentary. Look here. You know, I'm gonna talk about the Heat first. Listen, and before I get into that, Bam is gonna be fine. Ain't nothing wrong with Bam. He's cool. He still had 12 rebounds. He still had he had 9 point. He had a solid game. Okay, wasn't the best, but could he have put some more points on the board? Yeah, absolutely. But let's not knock him. He did play 41 minutes. It's not like this guy was only playing a little stretch of time. And plus, he's been putting the team on his back the whole entire year. Now, Jimmy Butler, I don't feel like that shot that he took in the end, that was a questionable shot. I don't know if they drew that up for him, but I don't feel like he should have taken that shot. Uh, Duncan Robinson and Gordon Dragic, they really played tremendous. They played tremendous because Duncan Robinson had 24 and Gordon had 25. Like that was a great game. You know, of course Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero played pretty good, and it was savvy veterans like Andre Iguodala and Trevor Ariza, and I'm gonna say this too. What I thought was very ironic and key. Trevor Ariza played 38 minutes. Trevor Ariza played 38 minutes. I got to give a shout out to Trevor Ariza. I always like Trevor Ariza's game. He's always been hard nosed, hard working, a defensive guy. He had 8 points and 12 rebounds. Okay, that oh, he didn't make no buckets. You're not using for Ariza for that. You're not using him for that. You're not using him for that. You know, he's there. He's there to bring bring a presence, a veteran presence, not only on the floor but on the bench and in the locker room. Him and Iguodala are champions. and they've always been key pieces on the championship team. You need a guy like Trevor Ariza on your squad. He's what's gonna he's gonna propel your team to take that next step over. And let's not act like Eric Spoelstra doesn't know how to coach. He knows how to coach. I don't know about that last shot that he took, but he definitely knows how to coach. Hold on, you guys. Hold on 1 second, okay? My bad. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something real quick. But the Miami, the Miami, the Miami Heat definitely you can't go to sleep on them. They only, they have just a small little adjustments to make, and they could get that second game. You know, that's a must win for them tomorrow. But it's not as crucial as some people think. Now, I'll say it time and time again. Now, you want to talk about people getting on the guy about his jumper and he can't shoot and he needs to learn how to shoot and all this other bullshit. Man, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Giannis had 26 points and 18 rebounds. Okay, very solid game. But in the end, you have somebody to fill the void in Middleton, who pretty much sealed the deal. And Middleton doesn't get talked about enough. Listen, you want Middleton to be uh, this this break it down type and create your own shot type of player, forcing him to be what he is. Look, he don't need to do none of that. He can if he wants to, but he's gonna end up disrupting the team flow of what Milwaukee is trying to do, which is be a well balanced team. They got guys that could create their own shot already. And Drew Holiday, who was able to get you 20 points with 11 rebounds yesterday, and also had 3 assists. Middleton had 27, 6 and 6, well balanced game. Can't say enough about the shooting of Brook Lopez, who is taking his game beyond the arc. Listen, I'm gonna stop right there for a second. Brook Lopez at one point in the low post area, he was a threat, especially when he played for the Brooklyn Nets. Brook Lopez had moves in the post, and he was leading the team in scoring and rebounding at one point with the Brooklyn Nets or whatnot. He had emerged as a premier guy, but he took his he see Brook Lopez is a smart player. He's an intelligent player. I mean, come on, for Christ's sake, he went to Stanford. Let's not act like this guy is not intelligent. He definitely he's very cerebral. So he figured out that where the game was going and how to stretch his game, beyond the arc. And he led all big men uh, in shooting. Uh, right now, hold on one second. Right now, the Memphis Grizzlies got the lead. The Memphis Grizzlies got the lead at the half. They up 49-43. Uh, you know, Memphis is for real. Memphis is for real. Memphis is for real. And this is just a fill out game, not to get too excited. I don't never when it comes to like game ones, uh I don't really trip about nothing like that. It's not really it's not gonna tell it's not gonna be the whole story of the whole entire series. It's just not. But I like what the Bucks are doing. I think that the adjustment that's going to be made is them really being, I would say, more. Mm, I would say more aggressive in terms of their shooting because their shot selection it was decent, but they still shot 16% uh, from the field in 3 pointers, and they didn't do too well at the line. They only shot 62% at the line. But what carried the game for them, which was the obvious, was the points in the paint. They outscored Miami 56-24, and they had less fouls. They had more turnovers, but they had more steals. And you know, they pretty much they pretty much dominated them on the rebound, especially on offensive rebounds. That's going to be a key thing because you're able to get that second shot. Uh, and with 3 pointers, you know if you miss one, hey, if you have decent rebounders on the floor, that's a second chance opportunity for you. So it's a lot of. I like this playoffs. Now we were talking about the the format, and I think I'm gonna talk about this again. Okay, a lot of people feel like the play-in format is not good. I'm starting to change. Uh, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the play-in format is horrible, but it's not something. It's not something that I'm gonna completely rule out either. I like the play-in tournament. I just wish that the play-in tournament would be actual tournament style when you speak of the playoffs. If you understand what I'm saying, I feel that it should be do or die. I feel like it should be one and done. We might lose money. I mean, the NBA might lose money, but they should figure out a way to make it more exciting. 5.6. Listen, a lot of people wanted to see that today. A team like Phoenix knocking off LA. Now they haven't won the series. Don't get it twisted. Now we are talking about the Lakers and we are talking about LeBron. But people want to see. There are some people that want to see a chance for, for for heroics. They want to see that cape. They want to see that get in the booth, loosen up the tie, so to speak, and come out like Superman and actually do some damage and get over that hump. People want to see that. And the play-in tournament was an example of that. I will go back to it again. There were 5.6 million viewers for the Golden State game versus the Lakers. It was a high rated game when they played against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Golden State Warriors. To me, it's more exciting for you to have a one and done type of uh, type of feel because people are going to be at the edge of their seat. People going to wonder, okay, well, dang, do we actually got a chance? Could we win? I think it should be tournament style. It brings that, I don't know, it just brings that type of excitement to the NBA that it once had because the NBA's ratings have dropped or had dropped um, by a whole lot. Adam Silver has a chance to earn my respect again. And the only way that they're going to be able to do that is if they go ahead and they move on. They they move on from and they try to find a new face for the league because and listen, people get mad at me when I say this, and listen, you don't have to like me when I say this. It's my opinion, But LeBron can't carry the league anymore like that. He can't carry the league no more like that. He's 36, getting ready to be 37 years old. You got young gunners that are coming up. What's up, Andy K? I see you in here. Andy K is a Sixers fans. Uh, Andy K definitely knows her basketball. She definitely knows her basketball. And I think that's why she rarely speaks, because she don't want to cook you and flame you too much. You should have got on there, Andy K, and flame Haas today. You needed to get on there and you needed to flame him. I'm waiting for somebody to do that. But shout out to Andy K. It's all love. Man, what's up, Omar? I see you in the building, man. Listen, man, look, you thought I forgot about you with the wrench. I didn't forget about you, bro. I didn't forget about you, man. You try to make your boy feel bad yesterday, man, saying, "Can I have my wrench, sir?" Look, I know who you are, Omar. You know, Omar, and if you haven't checked out Omar pages, go check his page out. He definitely knows his sports too. Maybe, maybe if I flame, he would like me less. You know, Andy K, man, listen, I, I'm gonna say it like this, okay? If if you're gonna get on the panel and if you're gonna be in the chat, don't try to take over somebody else's stream or take over somebody's chat like you the boss. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is silly, man. It's just the internet. It ain't even that serious. But you're not letting nobody talk. See, over here, there's order. Ticket, one thing that I know about Ticket, and shout out to Ticket TV. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, subscribe to it, okay? Listen, one thing that I know about Ticket and T Price, shout out to T Price too. Shout out to LB. Shout out to Two Raw for TV. And LVZ too as well. One thing that I know about those guys is that they are all about order. They're not gonna let you come up in there and just uh, automatically just fire off and stuff like that. No, there's gonna be some order in there. That's their channel. You have to show respect to that. You have to show respect to that. And when you come on this channel right here, listen. If Annie K is talking, and she has the floor, and somebody comes in there cutting her off and stuff like that, guess what's gonna happen? Guess what's gonna happen? They are gonna get muted, and if they try to over mute me or over top, hey, you're gonna get booted. You're gonna toot it and boot it like YG say. I agree. I hate when he does that shit. Listen, I listen. I don't have no problem with it. One thing that I had a problem with is when he comes out with the personal shit, calling me names and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I had to get on his ass, no homo. You know what I'm saying? Andy, you already know how I ride, man. Look, I'm cool until you start with that disrespectful stuff. You know what I'm saying? And don't get it twisted. I'll flame it, but we're here to talk sports. We're not here to do any of that stuff and curse out people and all that other stuff. Look, man, if you got an opinion and you don't like my opinion, just say, "Oh man, that's cap." I can handle that, or be like, "Man, you full of shit," or something like that. I can even handle that. But when you sitting up in there and let's say I call you a pussy, or I call you a bitch, or I call you a faggot ass nigga or something like that. Some people don't want to hear nothing like that. A lot of people don't want to hear it. There's some people that do want to hear that type of stuff. And shoot, that's cool with them, to each his own. But I'm not going to do that, especially when it comes to a sports conversation. And on this channel, Andy K, Big Who, Omar, we talk about everything. It's not just sports, and y'all are gonna see that because trust and believe me. Shout out to Nola Boy Sports. Like Nola Boy said, it's sink or swim around here, and we're gonna talk about everything. Sometimes I just like to talk about life, because I get burnt out on talking about sports sometimes, and sometimes I like to hear y'all talk. Want to hear what y'all got to say. I see you in here, Big Who. I see you in here. I was just talking about your Clippers. How it's gonna be annoying sometimes. Look, look. I understand what you're saying, Omar. I understand exactly what you're saying. But Ticket set the record straight today, and he's not gonna let it happen again. One thing I know about Ticket, he ain't gonna he not gonna stand for that. If you disrespect his channel and stuff, he'll get you up out of there. And look, I give people a wrench because I fucks with y'all, and y'all are coming over here and y'all are supporting me. And I know y'all from other channels. I give Big Who a wrench because he's able to come in and he's able to chop it up. I would like you to get on the chat a little bit more, or on the panel a little bit more, Omar. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to hear your voice, but it's all good, man. You can stay. You can stay there, man. As long as you support, man. But besides that, man, like it should be all love. You can't come into somebody else's domain and just automatically think that you're running everything. Especially when people are trying to come up in there and chop it up and have a good time. I don't know if you're doing that for attention, but that shit it's annoying. Hey, look, I'm all for confrontation. A little confrontation is good. A little heated debate back and forth. Hey, that's good. But I mean, when you doing it like out of annoyance, and then you see that like pretty much everybody is annoyed by the same thing, then the problem is you. I could see if people were backing them up, but then you got people up in there, trying to say, "Oh yeah, well, we need to, we need, egging him on and stuff like that, man. That's not cool." I feel you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, Omar. Yeah, Omar. You know what I'm saying? Look, just come over here and just support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need go over there and support Ticket's channel. We don't need you to go over there saying nothing. Like, if you really feel that way and stuff like that, set up your own platform. Omar, like you got your own platform. Like, don't sit up there and just go over there to get attention. If you really feel that strongly and you really want to say, just like I'm doing now, you know what I'm saying? Just get your own platform and speak your mind. You know what I'm saying? But don't go over there and mess it up for other people, because then really, that makes people not even want to come over there. They'll be like, oh, yeah, such and such is over there. Ah, nah, I don't even want to go over there. Now, me, I don't feel that way because I fucks with everybody. But, other people don't feel that way. And that's probably why Annie K don't like coming on. Some of these females don't like coming on and stuff like that because they try to get a word in. Y'all sitting there cutting them off and stuff like that. And not just the females, just some people in general. They don't want to come in there because they don't want to sit there and have to talk over you and all this other stuff. They want some sort of order. So it's all love over here. But to get back to what I was saying about the playoffs, you know, a lot of people want to sit here and act like, these, oh, it's gonna be the same old thing. No, it's a lot of parity in this playoffs. Memphis is up right now. Memphis is up right now, and I like to see that because people like, oh, what? Memphis is up on Utah? Yes, yes. They might not look like they a great team, but Memphis is gonna fight. Memphis is gonna fight. They're gonna fight to the end. I like John Morant, and here's something about John Morant that that I'm gonna put you on game about. I, I didn't pay attention to him that much in college. I paid attention to him just a little bit, but then it was up until like the end of his collegiate career I really started to take heed of this guy because somebody told me about John Morant, and they told me that John Morant, uh, with his father, used to uh, used to work out. He would work out consistently in the backyard, and just his overall work ethic and stuff, and that's what I that's what I admired about him. Uh, when I looked at him in college, I probably saw a few highlights, but I really didn't take him that serious. And I know some people like, oh, how could you not? He was, he was dunking and all this other stuff. Listen, it's more to the game than just dunking and 3 pointers and stuff like that. I look at other aspects of the game. It's more than that. I want to see your work ethic. I think that's why I like Kobe a lot. It wasn't just the fact that he performed in the games. Yeah, that was easy for him. But can you do the grit and grind every day, hard work, practicing, doing 2 to 3 a days, working on your body? Hold on, y'all. Okay. I apologize, you guys. I'm back again. Uh, but yeah, work ethic is something that I stand by. You know, very few players can last in the league, and it has to do with their work ethic. It has to do with their perseverance. You know, you can sit there, you know, you could have all the talent in the world and everything, and you could be out the league within 2 years. Now, I'm not saying I have, uh, you know, 150% knowledge of what goes on in the NBA sector. That's not what I'm saying. But what I do know is hard work. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend and even front. You know, yes, did I play? Yeah, I did play. I didn't play. I didn't play. You know, at in the NBA. Of course, no, I didn't. I didn't play in the NBA, but I went far enough to where I could tell you some things. You know, and the one thing that I'm gonna tell you is that the guys that are in the minors are just as hungry as the guys that are in the majors or in the actual NBA. Shoot, guys that that might play in just regular pickup ball. You know, those guys probably got goals. They got goals just like everybody else. So I'm not trying to get away from the point, but Ja Morant, he's somebody that is going to remain hungry. And Memphis Grizzlies are still up. They're up 64-59. They're up 64-59. You know, so um, I definitely feel that uh, tomorrow is going to be is going to be tomorrow's going to be a statement game. Not well, a must win, I should say, for the Nuggets, and I want to talk about that series too as well. I need to talk about the Nuggets are about to get swept. They 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 need Jamal Murray. The Nuggets are really about to get swept. Uh, when you got a guy like Dame Lillard on a high like that, as Memphis is still up on Utah 68-59. When you got Dame Lillard, a guy like Dame Lillard playing the way he did, there's no way in hell that they're gonna lose. Cause I love Dame Dollars. I love what he brings to the table. Um, I respect CJ McCollum. Do I think that he's an all star or anything like that? No. Um, and I'm getting ready to approach something because I'm setting it up right now. Even Nurkic, he played a good game. He had a solid game of 16 and 12. Uh, Norman Powell was a pretty solid game as well. And Anthony Simons, he played pretty good too at 14. But it was the veteran, one of my favorite players in Melo, who was able to put up 18 points in 22 minutes of play. That is the true story right there. People act like Melo is done or washed up, can't play no more, need to retire, all this stuff. Man, Melo can still hoop, man. Okay, it might not be at the level um, that y'all wanted to be. It might not be, you know, Denver Nuggets, Carmelo, but 18 points in the playoffs, first round, in year 17, year 18. I mean, come on, you got to get that guy credit, and was able to just play his role and still be effective. Um, Michael Porter Jr. He played good. He played pretty good, but it wasn't enough. He had 25. Uh, Aaron Gordon. I thought that he did, somewhat of a solid job, but it wasn't enough. And then Jokic had 34. Uh, Other than that, they're missing Jamal Murray. They need Jamal Murray. I don't think that a guy like Campazzo or Austin Rivers, um, I don't think that those guys can make up for what they used to have. I remember Gary Harris, you know. Uh, I remember Will Barton. Those guys right there, they made Denver. They they actually made Denver somewhat competitive. They made them competitive last year. They really made them guys competitive. So that's pretty much that sums it up in a nutshell about the playoffs. As Memphis is up 70-59. Memphis is coming out. Memphis is coming out with 4:11 to go in the third quarter. As we look at the box score, John Morant is starting to pick it up a little bit. Him and Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson uh, have been just tremendous on offense. Dylan Brooks has 23, and both uh, both John Morant and Kyle Anderson both have 14. Um, Kyle Anderson, you know, thing about Kyle Anderson, he's never in a rush. He's never in a rush. He has that Paul Pierce type of guy. I'm not saying that he is Paul Pierce before some of y'all freak out. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that he's never in a rush and he takes his time. That's just the way that he plays. And it used to drive me nuts. I didn't like the fact that he played like that. But that's his game. That's how he feels more comfortable. Um, I can see that being a sweep. Now, when it comes to Aaron Gordon, I want to talk about him for a second. I like Aaron Gordon's game. When he was at Orlando, I really felt like when he made that change coming to from Orlando to Denver, I really felt like, well, okay, this guy is he's gonna put Denver over that hump. And I still got faith. I still got faith in Aaron Gordon. I really feel like he's still a force to be reckoned with. You still can't make no mistake about it. But he's evolved his game. But I didn't want him to leave Orlando. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought that him and Cole Anthony they could have bonded and had a good foundation set for the next several years. Possibly get them deep in the playoffs, maybe to the finals. But he's with Denver now. He's. I think he just needs to be just a little bit more aggressive. I would like to see him, grab a little bit more rebounds. And even though he had eight rebounds, uh, but he only played 28 minutes. So I think that had a lot to do with it. I want to say that was foul trouble. Uh, Memphis is up 78-68 with 139 left in the third quarter.